Colorado's Supreme Court has ruled Donald Trump ineligible for the White House, saying the former president engaged in an insurrection on January 6th.
Maine has removed former President Donald Trump from the ballot for the Republican primary. Maine's Secretary of State, Sheena Bellows, issued the decision, claiming the former president engaged in an insurrection.
Let's talk about the fact that President Trump incited an erection. And maybe that, too.
Now, less than 3 weeks away from the March primary election, a Cook County judge has ruled Donald Trump is disqualified from running in Illinois for violating Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. Judge Tracy Porter then put her order on hold until Friday in anticipation of an immediate appeal by Trump's attorneys. Porter's ruling reverses last month's decision by the Illinois Board of Elections to keep Trump's name on the ballot after a group of Illinois voters accused the former president of engaging in insurrection leading to the January 6th Capitol riot.
What this ruling essentially says is that Donald Trump himself is not fit for office, cannot serve office, and therefore could not be on the ballot in Illinois to run for office. But technically, when we vote in the primaries in Illinois, we're not voting for the presidential candidate. We're voting for electors who pledge to those candidates to go to the respective national conventions and cast their ballots.
Now, of course, today's ruling becomes moot if the U.S. Supreme Court rules against the state of Colorado, which decided to remove Trump from the ballot ahead of their primary this coming Tuesday.
This never ceases to amaze me, but as all of these individuals are screaming about Russian election interference, Navalny is persecuted, all these political prisoners across, and now they need to knock him off the ballot. So no one has the opportunity to vote for him. Your reaction tonight?
Well, the arrogance of this is appalling, and waiting until this late in the day to do it, giving the president, the former president, just until Friday to file an appeal to the Supreme Court. It's already Wednesday. And then to say, apparently at the end of it, she issues an order that says my ruling will be further stayed if the U.S. Supreme Court enters an opinion inconsistent with this order. Well, guess what? If they do what most people think they're going to do, they're going to enter an opinion that makes it impossible for Illinois to take him off the ballot. So the arrogance of that is just, it shouldn't astonish me, but it does.
Yeah, Tracy Porter, a Democrat appointee, joined the bench in 2021. Very, very liberal. Cook County is known for these type of judges. David, 31 states in total now have sued to kick the former president off the ballot. All right. Again, I want to repeat to everybody, as the Democrats are claiming they're running Joe Biden for re-election to protect democracy. They have to defeat Trump to protect democracy. Okay. All 3 have been successful. Those states in red, Maine, Colorado, and now Illinois. If Trump were down 30 points in the polls, I don't think any of these cases would have been brought. But Alito raised a good point at the oral arguments. Watch.
If what Colorado did here is sustained, other states are going to retaliate, and they're going to potentially exclude another candidate from the ballot. What about that situation?
I don't think that this court should take those threats too seriously in its resolution of this case.
You don't think that's a serious threat?
Well, that's one of many great points that were raised in the obviously the seminal case that will decide all of this, Saul. But I mean, this could be keep going forward, tit for tat. You take my guy off, we're going to take your guy off, and so on and so on. Here's what this judge, Tracy Porter, who was responsible for this outrageous decision tonight in Illinois, this is what she said when she was appointed back in 2021. She said, "My motto is impacting lives and changing communities, and that is how I will approach this new position." David, last time I checked, that's not the role of a judge. That's the role perhaps of an activist or an NGO or maybe a representative. But she's put it right out there for us.
The goal is to deny justice by delaying justice, and they may just succeed. If the oral arguments are in April and a decision doesn't come out until May or June, and Judge Chutkin at the district court says they're going to have 3 months after that to prepare, then you're right in the fall up against the election. That bumps up against the Department of Justice policy of not normally taking legal action in close proximity to an election. I think the issue here is the proximity to the election is because of the defendant's own conduct, his effort to delay the proceedings. In that case, I would hope that the trial goes forward whenever it gets sent back to Judge Shutkin.
The idea that they're going to side with him on immunity is unthinkable and also beside the point. The conclusion that we can arrive at now based on what they have done without having to wait for the ruling is that they are ensuring that Trump will not face trial. And when they inevitably rule that presidents aren't immune from prosecution after they leave office, what that will tell Donald Trump, if by then he is president, is that he can never leave the office of the presidency. Right. And if he is voted out in 2028, he cannot leave office, and he is willing to he is welcome to commit any crimes he wants to, as long as he is still president, in order to ignore the result of that election and stay in power for life, because otherwise he is going to go to prison when he gets out. That is the way this is going to go unless the country votes Trump out, votes for Biden and against Trump in November.
No shame in your illness. Please seek help.